Hey guys, this is Tom Crandall from Gear Mashers, and today I wanted to talk about the Wahoo Element Bolt. So the Bolt is my current cycle computer. I used to ride with the Garmin 820, so you can sort of see the size comparison here. I do like the build of the Garmin. I feel like the plastic's a little better, but the Bolt actually, as far as functionality, works better for me. The Garmin is a touch screen, whereas the Bolt isn't. And that's where sort of the problems arise for me, at least using this. With the touch screen, when you sweat a lot, what happens is your finger swipes don't get recognized as easily. If you sweat on the screen, sometimes it will change the screen. At least that's the way I've had it occur during my rides. With the Bolt, you have buttons on the side, so you have two buttons here on the side, and what the buttons do is change the font size of the screen, so you can either see more or less information as you scroll through. You also have page button, so it'll allow you to go through the various screens, and then there's like a start and a history on there, and then you have your start button over here. But I found the Bolt to be really awesome. So I'm not actually going to sort of talk about this, but I'm going to be talking about the application that drives this. And some of the things that I use you may not have, so you're not going to probably use them. But I have a heart rate strap, so I want to show my heart rate information on this. I also have a cadence sensor on my bike, so I want to show my RPMs. Also want to look at my speed, my distance. Other values that I might want to look at occasionally would be time of day, temperature, maybe average speed, things like that aren't as useful, but and maybe I'm not going to show them at the same time. Typically, what I like to show is about 4 values at most. If I go to the 6 or 8 values, I just have a hard time seeing it. So that's what I like to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from here to the Wahoo Element application. That's I have an Apple, so we'll look at the one on the Apple. If you have a Windows or anything like that, it basically looks the same. So anyway, let's go. All right, so now I have my iPhone with me, and I'm going to launch the Wahoo Element application. So I just click on the little icon there. The application is going to look for the Wahoo Bolt, and so it's just looking for it right now. So it found it. And so I have 60% battery life left on my Bolt, which is okay. The information that you're really going to probably be hanging out with a lot is the customized pages section. And this allows you to customize your Bolt. So you have here lap data. I don't have that turned on. Screen 1, climbing, and map. Those are my 3 pages on my Bolt. So I'm going to dive into one of these. So on my screen, my main screen that shows up anytime I start up my Bolt, I'm going to be showing speed, cadence, heart rate, distance, time of day, temperature, average speed, calories, and active time. Usually though, I only want to see 4 values, and so I move the 4 values that I want to see at the top. So I have speed, cadence, heart rate, and distance are the ones that show. Since speed's at the top, if I make the font the largest it can be on the Bolt, speed's going to show up as being number 1. And then cadence, heart rate, and distance. In general, like I said before, I just like to show 4 bits of data just for size-wise preference. So the speed, cadence, heart rate, and distance are the ones I usually look at when I'm cycling. If I want to look at the time of day and temperature, all I have to do is click on the button on the Bolt to actually show some of the other information. When you dive into one of these, you can change it out from what it is to something else. So you have like just a ton of different fields to select from. So in the speed section, you have average speed, average, max average speed, stuff like that, I guess, or max speed workout. Distance, you have various distance. You can show map information, time of day information. If you are doing a lot of climbing, there's all sorts of climbing stats that you can show, temperature, cadence, heart rate. I have mine hooked up to Strava, so I can also see some Strava information, calories, power, and let me just sort of scroll through here. Obviously, there's tons to dealing with power, but I don't have a power meter. Kicker control, I have the Wahoo Kicker, so I can control that with this. Targets, gear selection, muscle oxygen. I'm not sure where I'd get this to show, but anyway, battery, phone battery, workout, and planned workout information. So obviously there's just a ton of fields to choose from, and you can have more than one page. So if I down here, I can add a custom page if I wanted to, and have another page to go through on my system. These screens, you can turn them off or on. So if I didn't want to show one of the screens, I could just turn it off, and I'll just have it turned on. And of course, with each one of these screens, again, you can customize and add information as needed. But the screen one's my main one that I usually look at. You can rename it if you need to. Just type in a name and you can rename it. Other things that you might be interested in, let's see here, the segment section. So this is Strava live segments. So if I had the pro version of Strava, I guess, I could see live segments, but I do not have that, so that's why it's turned off. Let's see here. Some of the other features that you might want to set on auto pause, I have that turned on, and auto lap. So with the auto pause, you can turn it on or off, and essentially it just stops the computer from doing anything once you stop cycling. One thing I did like about the Garmin was when they also had an auto pause, but you could set a speed in which to pause it. So like if you're going through the city and you're stopping and starting at stoplights, you could set the auto pause to stop at a certain speed limit. So maybe 5 miles an hour or something, where it wouldn't record your information. I found it sort of useful if I was just trying to keep my average speed up and knew I had to go through some towns and then get out to a place where I could actually go faster. Cadence, including zeros, zero and power average. Wi-Fi network. Automatic upload is really nice. And so here what happens is if you connect to, say, Strava, like I am here, it can automatically upload the information once you get back to a phone where it can upload it. You can also receive alerts, phone calls, messages, emails. I always have this stuff turned off because I don't want to be interrupted when I'm out there working out. Auto shutdown, mine's turned off. And then backlight. So with the backlight, it's sort of nice. I have mine set for 30 seconds. You can change the duration if you wanted a minute, 2 minutes. In this time of year, it's not a big deal, but like in the winter time, when it's dark out pretty early, it's nice to have this backlight. And essentially what happens is if you hit one of the buttons on the Element, it'll just light up, and so you can see the screen for 30 seconds, and then it'll turn off again. And then you can unpair the Element. The profile information, that'll allow you to enter your Gmail, linked accounts, name, height, weight, all that stuff that you would typically add. You also have some power and edit zones. And then the other thing you can see on this app is your ride. So record the ride information, and you can sort of go into each one of those rides. So let's see here how fast it loads up to show the active time, miles per hour, ascent, and how far I went, and a lot of different screens here. So really like this app. It's pretty easy to use, but the settings are by far super easy. You just figure out what you want to see back up here on the customized pages as far as what you want to see on your computer. Set it up and you're good to go. So anyway, this is Tom Crandall from Gear Mashers. Thanks so much.